Hello, my friends. Oh no, it's already going. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Space Game Junkie Podcast. I, as always, am your co-host, Brian. Sadly, our co-host, Jim, seems to be having some migraines, so he's not feeling well. So he can't join us tonight. And my voice has been shot for a couple of days. So I don't know how long we're going to be able to go tonight. Also joining us is your co-host, Hunter.
Hi.
And your co-host, Spaz.
Oh, I'm here, sort of.
So
Here's
folks,
relative at the moment.
Folks, we were supposed to have a guest tonight. The developer of a space shooter that's coming out next week called Apolune from what is this? Lost Astronaut Games. Yeah, Lost Astronaut Studios. Excuse me. Their last game was Fringes of the Empire, which came out in 2015. It's still in early access, that one. The developer apparently wanted to create something a bit simpler. So we have this, and he asked to come on, and we're like, sure. And now we don't know where they are. So they might show up later. We might not. I don't even know how long we can go tonight. Because I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my voice, whoo, yeah, I had a little too good of a time the other night, and it still hasn't really recovered. Yeah, I sound terrible. It's kind of not feeling great either. So hi guys, how are you? How are you guys doing?
I'm at first I thought you were asking the audience. I was like, what?
Well, you got them too, but also you guys, how are you?
I'm good. I've been busy with work and playing games. Yeah, mostly been busy with work recently.
Have things been busy over there at Habitat for Humanity?
Yeah. It's been a growth spurt.
Well, that's good though, right? I mean, that's a really good thing. That's one of the best charities around. Is that one? I think I worked with them for about a dozen times over the years, and their people were always top notch, and you always felt like these are, like, you hear stories about like the Salvation Army and stuff and how they're not great, but like you never hear that about Habitat for Humanity. So yeah, I have nothing but good things to say about them. So I'm really glad to hear that they're going through growth. That's wonderful. Yeah.
So, how about you, Spaz?
Yeah, how you doing, Spaz?
Oh, been continuing to play Genesis Alpha 1 and ETF 5 and having a lot of fun. Still working on trying to get my next Genesis working, but we'll see how that goes.
Hey, Jim's here.
Oh, hi, Jim. How you feeling? Yeah. Are you okay, man?
I just woke up.
Oh, we heard you were having migraines. If you're not feeling well,
yeah.
Our guest didn't show, so
you don't.
Shit came up.
Oh, I thought we
welcome to the podcast.
Hi, everybody. Shortest podcast ever. 3 minutes 55 seconds. I did want to talk real quick, Jim. If you want to stick around. I don't know about you guys, but there have been like 5 or 6 space games that have come out in the past 2 weeks. We've had Battlefleet Gothic, Genesis Alpha 1, Sunless Skies, Arc Savior, Warbital. Yeah, like 5 or 6 games just in the last week or two. How are people supposed to keep up with all this? Like, space game developers, can you just spread your releases out a little bit? Maybe. Well, I know there was a sale. I know the lunar sales are going on right now, but could you just spread it out a little bit?
To be fair, like dev spreading. Microaggression.
To be fair though, Sunless Skies, if I'm not mistaken, it technically went full release recently, but it's been in early access though as an available thing.
Oh, sure, yeah, but like,
you know, So I wouldn't necessarily say like I get like the official release notice, but like I think of those, that one's actually been kind of something that people have been able to play for a little while. Is like Battlefleet Gothic, for example. Like people are just now getting their hands on it and getting dirty with it. But yeah, as far as official releases, there's been a lot. Yeah,
there's been a lot, and I mean it's great. I mean, who would have thunk 4 or 5 years ago that we'd be getting all this stuff? But oh my god, and it's all good stuff so far. So
far, I was about to say, wait a minute.
Well, no, I mean Battlefleet Gothic has been fantastic. Sunless Skies, what I've played of it, is great. Arc Savior looks really great. I've only played a little bit of that. Astroneer is coming out tomorrow, right? Isn't that dropping tomorrow? I mean, that hits 1.0 tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Why I bring that up is because, Hunter, because I know a lot of people who will not buy early access games. Like, just flat out refuse. So 1.0 is a big deal for a lot of reasons. And we just found out Objects in Space 1.0 March 1st. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's like one of the games I'm most excited about. But oh my God, just trying to cover all this stuff. Like I have to like take 3 days off of work just to do this side job. I feel like I can't do that. So just, I mean, it's a good problem to have. It's a good problem to have.
It's a great time to plug the merch, right?
Yes, folks. We just recently opened a Teespring store and buy a shirt. I still have to buy some stuff. I'm gonna buy Nicole a shirt, and I'm gonna buy me a shirt, and I'm gonna buy some stickers and maybe a mouse pad for work.
Yeah, I might get me a shirt here pretty soon. The red ones looked pretty swank, so I'm thinking about getting.
I like the logo on the red. The red and the blue are surprisingly not. They go well with that orange color. I was really surprised by that. Yeah, I was not sure about that, but I was really pleasantly surprised. So yeah, folks, we have a store now, and I'm refreshing the tiers. Within the next month, I'm going to be launching new Patreon tiers. So you have the $1, but then a $5 you get stickers and stuff. $10 you get a T-shirt, and so on and so forth. And we're going to have Patreon only like chats, and we're going to have Patreon only podcast topic suggestions. So we got ideas for things for the Patreon because it's my fault. I've been busy and a little lazy, and I got to get on my butt and fix that because there's an economic downturn coming. You know there is, and who the hell knows what's going to happen. So yeah. Yeah, things are good.
You can burn games to stay warm.
Yeah, those I do have a lot of CDs, but I don't know how well
honey, throw another disc on the fire.
Oh wait, that's the extra copy of TIE Fighter. That's all right. Go ahead. That's okay. You can throw that one on the fire.
That's the floppy version of X-Wing. I throw that in there.
Why do I even have this Amiga floppy copy of Mega Fortress? You can throw that on the fire. That's fine. Just go throw that on the fire.
Mega Fortress was some cool stuff.
Oh, I bought that for the I bought that for the manuals. Like I don't even play the game. I just love those manuals. That's why I have an Amiga copy of Mega Fortress. Because I love having those printed manuals, baby. Just love it. Speaking of printed stuff, for my birthday, I got the Orville book. Do you guys know there's a book called The World of the Orville?
The art book?
Man, how are they starting to lorify this show? Because if they are, that's amazing.
The book actually talks a lot about the Union and the ship designs and everything. They are glorified.
Everybody was like, "Oh, it's going to be a spoof Trek show. Don't watch it." And I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it could be interesting. And lo and behold, like, it may have like bits of humor strung throughout it, but it's not just straight up dick and fart jokes. Like, it's not.
Star Trek can't have a good show because they're burdened with too much Star Trek. And
I don't know about that, but like apparently the people who are making Discovery apparently don't give a crap about all that. And
the rumor mill's a buzz that there is no word yet whether or not season 3 has been they've been renewed for a third season on Discovery. There's no word yay or nay yet.
So if Discovery only had 2 seasons, it would be the second shortest Star Trek show after the animated series.
But not the one I've watched the least of.
Yeah.
How funny would that be that only the animated series has less coverage than Discovery?
Now, the TOS had 2 seasons though? Or 3?
3. TOS had 3. Animated series had 1. And then Next Gen.
Everything
Voyager,
else had
DS,
like 7, except for Enterprise. I guess
Enterprise had 5. Yeah, Enterprise had 5. But it was, for a while it was 7, 7, and 7. Like, what? What is happening?
I did find that interesting that 3 series in a row. It's like, that's pretty impressive that they had 3 successful spin-off series that ran for 7 seasons each.
I think Next Gen and DS9, I don't know about Voyager, but I think they could have done 6 and been just fine. Because those last seasons...
I wonder if Voyager, they only had like 1 season planned, and then they were like, oh, people like it. Oh, shit.
So kind of like Battlestar Galactica, basically? They only had...
not the same. Stop it, both of you.
It's like, son of a bitch, we got renewed again.
Come on,
that's what happened. That's what happened with TNG, right? Did you guys ever hear the whole thing with Patrick Stewart, where they're like, just take the show; it's not going to last. And 7 years later,
he was living out of his hotel room for like half a year, thinking I was gonna go back soon. Folks, if you haven't watched
on a 5-year mission,
folks, if you haven't watched the documentary called Chaos on the Bridge, it's on Netflix.
Oh man, it's interesting.
It's
eye-opening, actually.
It's fascinating. Talks about the first 3 seasons of Next Gen and how there's clearly a bump in quality between seasons 1 and 2 and 3, and you learn like, oh, that's why.
Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense now.
Definitely.
Oh, I think
what was it, like season 2, and then they fired everybody.
Well, they fired everyone in season 1 too. Like so many, the turnaround in seasons 1 and the turnaround in seasons 1 and 2 were insane for a network television show. Apparently.
Well, I think the thing with Voyager, you mentioned Voyager, and I'll be the first one to admit Voyager definitely kind of had some rockiness to it. But just like the other show, the later the seasons went on, I think the more interesting it got.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair. I'm gonna watch Voyager at some point. Because the Greatest Generation podcast, so that's what they're going to do that next after
Probably.
DS9. So,
I think Voyager. I'll actually say this in general. Most of the Trek shows always have really fantastic 2-parters, and I think one of my favorite 2-parters in the Trek series has got to be in Voyager with the Year of Hell Part 1 and 2.
I've heard that's so really good. I've heard that's like Voyager.
Oh, it is.
Best. I've heard that's the show at its best. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got Trek, that guy who played the president of the Federation in Star Trek 6.
Kurtwood Smith?
I
love him.
Played Red Foreman on,
Red
the
Foreman.
70.
Yeah. Kirk is a dumbass.
He plays the main protagonist. No, not the protagonist, but the antagonist.
Antagonist. Yeah.
Oh, he's I could watch him in anything. Ever since RoboCop, I could watch him in.
And he's good in this 2-parter.
Oh,
yeah, he's really good.
I bet he's great in like just about anything.
I wonder if we'll ever go to Orville conventions.
I hope so.
Oh, they're gonna happen.
Hope so.
Excuse me, they're gonna happen.
Honestly, that should be like the final episode of the show. Should just be like a convention episode in character. Where they've all
they did that on Supernatural,
but now they attend conventions.
Hold on a second. Spoiler alert! Have you guys seen the episode with Bortus with a mustache?
The latest episode, yeah, we watched it last night. That's
all I'm gonna say. Bortus with a mustache was freaking hysterical.
Well, the whole episode was great. Because I
fell on the floor laughing so hard.
How many times on Next Gen did you want a normal day on the Enterprise episode? you know, and with this latest episode, we got that again. Like, that was like the second or third time we've gotten that. It was nice. It's nice to spend time with these characters, you know?
Are they gonna lower deck it at some time?
I think the whole show is like a constant
The
lower
whole
deck.
show is like that because they're not the Enterprise. They're not the flagship. They're like, they're really good at their jobs, but they're not like, it's still a weird ship, you know?
They're kind of like the Oberth of the.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what they are. It's kind of crazy, but I like it.
Oh yeah, it works great. Did you get the soundtrack today, Spaz? I got the soundtrack CD. Today.
Mine hasn't arrived yet, but it should arrive this week. I think on Thursdays when mine arrives.
Yeah, I'm holding it in my hand right now. I can't wait to rip it. Oh, I'm so excited. But yeah, folks, if you haven't watched The Orville, it has a kind of a rocky start, but it gets so good.
Yeah, the pilot does leave a little wanting.
It's the weakest episode. It's the weakest episode.
Yeah, they didn't take 2 seasons to figure it out.
That's the interesting thing, because by the end of season 1, you're like, all right, I am ready for more of this.
Exactly. I'm ready to be in this world more with these people, you know, on this ship. I'm ready to just hang out with these folks, you know.
Well, also consider how many alumni from other sci-fi series, including Trek, are already working both in front of the camera and behind the scenes.
And all of the guest actors on the show.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Ted
So
Danson
they've got a lot going on in order to not have to worry about the growing pains as much. Right. I mean, I think they got through it all by the end of the first season.
They really did. I mean, I couldn't believe Admiral Ted Danson the other week. Like, whoa, he's busy with The Good Place, but I guess he'll still show up. I mean, wow, that was impressive. But yeah, the cameos alone on that show have been just holy crap.
Yeah, 2 shows and flossing.
Oh,
did you see the video where the guy was?
Well, he did it on the show too. He did it on the show. It was great. That's another great.
Orville?
Oh no, on the Good Place. The Good Place. Yeah, he actually did it in front of Maya Rudolph, which was amazing.
I wonder if the show's going to get sued for appropriating the child's dance.
I have no idea, but yeah, folks, if you haven't watched The Orville, it's really good science fiction, and you can tell this season, like this, especially this latest episode, you can tell their budget's gone up because, like, how many shots of the ship going by are we gonna get that are like?
And the shots are also way
super
more detailed.
Yeah,
I was noticing that. I was like, between season 1 and 2, someone got a pay raise or something. There's a quality improvement.
Oh my god, not even the ship, the special effects in general, like visiting those 2 suns in the last episode, like holy crap. It looks great. So hopefully they'll make an Orville game at some point. It'll probably be a mobile game, but who knows. But I can imagine there being Orville conventions eventually. Creation will probably want a slice of that because they
own. It's amazing.
What?
You can buy an Orville model kit.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get one eventually.
That's pretty cool, though.
Oh yeah, they are slowly merchandising themselves a bit. Like I know that there are. I have friends who are in cosplay and they're trying to cosplay the Orville, and there are suppliers that are already making Orville paraphernalia, like the plastic things they wear on their shoulders, you know, for the ranks. There are folks that are making those now. And the shirt and the uniforms and everything. So yeah, it's definitely taking on life, and it's great. And it's funny you said a convention within the show, because Supernatural did that in like their 6th season, I think 6th or 7th season. Because there's this
they went to a Supernatural convention in the show.
Yes, they did, because
like Inception.
Yeah, well, no. Here's the funny thing is. There's a prophet of the Lord named Chuck, and his prophecies are the episodes of the show. So he wrote a book in the universe for every episode of the show. And so in the universe, there's a series of books called Supernatural and so there are Supernatural fans in the show, and so there are Supernatural conventions in Supernatural. It's the most meta thing.
So meta.
I think I've ever seen. It's pretty great. It's actually really great. AC Wraith, no spoilers, no Supernatural spoilers. But yes, you're absolutely right. No, that was the 200th episode where they had a Supernatural musical.
Oh man, you want to talk about 200 episodes? I think my favorite 200th episode, like spoof episode, has got to be Stargate SG1.
That's actually like one of the few episodes I've ever watched of Stargate.
You saw the 200th episode?
Yeah.
Oh god, it was so good. It was so funny, and they did this like minor little Farscape riff, and like the joke there was so like for anyone who was like a fan, they all got it. Like it was so.
We had a party. We used to have sci-fi watching parties, a bunch of friends and I back in the day, and so we had like 30 people in a room watching that episode. And when that joke that you just mentioned came on, like 70-80% of the room just died. Like there are a few of us who hadn't seen Farscape, but the rest who had.
Okay, you got me. I have no idea what that is.
Yeah. So anything else you guys want to talk about, or should we just can this thing after 20 minutes?
Listen, for all you guys that tuned in, thanks for the support. Sorry we really didn't have a guest for y'all.
We don't know, and my voice is going, my throat's getting more sore, so we probably have to cut this. And
even confirmed earlier today.
Yeah, I mean he made like a bunch of tweets.
It might be he was still thinking it was at 8:30 instead of 8, and
no, he accepted the calendar invite, which had the time on it as 15 minutes before our start time. So
but I accepted a calendar invite for noon one day.
Was that through Trello or through Google Calendar?
Yeah, no, it was Trello.
Oh, see, no, I use Google Calendar for. Yeah, I use Google Calendar.
Now he did post an announcement. He posted an announcement that he would be. Oh well, the Steam announcement is what I'm referring to, but the date on it is next week. So there may have been some misunderstanding on his part. I'm guessing that maybe.
I confirmed with him.
Did we have a guest for next week?
We do.
Because we do now.
We do. We're welcoming back Brendan Anthony, the developer of Rodina, to talk about how far that game has come. If you guys haven't played Rodina, it's amazing, and the things he's been able to add to it, like when that game first came out in early access a few years ago now, it was basically just fly to a planet, land, get some stuff, and leave. Or not even fly to a planet, fly to an asteroid, pick up a few crates, and then get some clues and leave. Now it's like certain asteroids can have like Xeno hideouts, and you go down there and you kill. It's a first-person shooter all of a sudden, and you kill a bunch of Xenos, and you take some more stuff for your ship, and you get rockets for your gun and missiles for your ship, and you slowly upgrade your ship as you go further in system, so you can deal with the actual planets that are just surrounded by badness. It's a really incredible game made by this one guy. But he worked on Oblivion and other games, so he has the credentials. But so that's who we're talking to next week. So and it's on the calendar on the Space Game Junkie calendar that Rodina is next week. And a week after that, I'm really excited because we're going to talk to the guy who's making Star Sector for the first time. I'm really excited about that.
For the first time.
So we'll meet again for the first time for the last time.
Yes.
So we have good guests coming up, but I'm.
Wait. Look at the promenade.
What's going on?
Oh my God.
What's happening?
Oh my God.
Look at the promenade.
Oh my God.
What?
Oh my God.
So it looks like he's going to be here.
Hang on a second.
Yeah. Corks bar.
Told you, 8:30.
That
Move it up a half hour, and
that is
you
not
break
the
the world.
time. That is not the time. Oh my god. Okay, folks, we're gonna give it a couple minutes.
So we should just like shut it down, and then in about 4 minutes start up again and be like, "Welcome to
Part
Space
2.
Kentucky."
This is one of those behind the scenes Patreon things. So for those listening live, they're getting like an exclusive, and then we'll just put this up on Patreon paywall for everybody else. We just won't even post this on YouTube after this.
I don't know if I want to do that because there's a lot of cursing and shit talking in those off times.
Fuck it.
and I don't want that getting out.
There goes your monetization.
Yeah, my monetization.
Sorry, Brian.
We've lost the synergy. We'll have to loop back in a week or two and find the crux or whatever business speak people say. I don't know.
Okay, I think I'm here.
Oh, hey.
How's that?
We can hear you. Hey.
Good. It's a nice mic. It should be okay.
Well, welcome. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
all right, Brian.
Is everything all right?
Yeah.
All right, just making sure because we started half an hour ago.
Oh, I thought it was at 5:30.
No.
Oh man.
No.
Well, I'm here.
Yay.
Oh man.
Okay. Well, you missed a great chat about the Orville, and
what happened to that show? Is it still on the air?
Yeah, it's in its second season right now.
Hasn't that been a while?
No. You might be thinking of.
I feel like I saw it already. I don't know though.
Nope. All right.
Well, it's a good show. All right. Sorry for the delay.
That's okay. So, gotta ask you about this game, Apolune. Is that how you say it? Apolune?
That's how I say it. I don't know how it's said. It's like Apogee, but it's Apolune.
First off, please tell folks your name.
My name is Herb Gilliland, and I am the designer, developer, one-man band of Lost Astronaut Studios.
Now, a few years ago... Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say one thing. I just opened the mail, and I do have my DBA now, so it's something other than just a made-up company. It has at least a DBA, so it's a sole proprietorship. But
what's a DBA? What's a DBA? Doing
business as. It's a step toward, you can like give out shares of it, but it's not really a company, and basically just it's what it is. I don't know. It's a step towards that. I can't make a company out of it. I mean, I'm not going to hire people. And since I'm like most indies, I make like nothing from my game. So I'm hoping this one's different, but so there's, whatever, but it's a way to like show that you're trying to do business, and you're supposed to do it if you have even a website, but I don't know, whatever. It was like $100.
I have it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you don't have to, but it's something.
Okay. So a few years ago, you released a game called Fringes of the Empire. And it's still in early access. What happened there?
Well, well, it's still in early access.
It is. It was
pretty early a couple of years ago.
Are you still working on it?
Well, boy, there's no nice way to say this. Apolune is the development time on Apolune was very short, partly because I am cannibalizing the 11 or 12 years of work on the first two games that just have not worked out. It's not that I've given up on Fringes, but I think I always reach a little bit too far, and then I'm sort of waiting for it. Well, for one, a friend of mine tried to run it. It wouldn't even start on his computer, and I began to realize that, this was supposed to be something pretty accessible, and yet it seems that I've once again added too many features and sort of layered on too much stuff. And so I actually thought of Alien Pickle, Jim. You're in my head. You were in my head a couple, like maybe 5 weeks ago, and I was like remembering from the podcast 134. You had said, "Does it always have to be epic?" And I thought, yeah, it does, but maybe I can do something real quick. And so it's just out of a need to get a game together that was at least playable and fun and get it out as fast as possible. So that's what Apolune is, sort of. It's a little more than that, but that is what happened to Fringes. Fringes isn't dead, but it's not priority.
Right.
I like Fringes though.
Oh,
Talk more about it.
I've not played it in a while, I'll be honest.
Well, I remember you had a good time, but you couldn't stream it.
Oh.
And yeah.
Is that what happened? Because I saw that I didn't have video of it, and I was like, that's weird. I don't even have a preview of it. But so I couldn't pick it up. Oh, I'll have to try it again.
I'll tell you what, so one thing that had happened was when I had last been on that podcast, I was talking about how I wanted to get away from Game Maker and move it into my own engine. And I actually have done a lot. And if you haven't looked at it, I did tell you at one point not to play it yet, randomly one day. But no, I think you could take a look at it, and I'd love to hear your feedback on it at some point. All right. So, all right, that'd be cool.
But Apolune is a far simpler thing. Now, I have to admit, I have played about 40 minutes of the game.
Okay.
And I have to admit, I'm not sure what's happening. Like I keep shooting things.
Right.
Is there more to it than that? Is there like a progression system? Is there?
How many kills did you get?
I think my highest was 81.
Okay. All right. Well, so I actually promised a lot of things to be revealed today in tweets, and in my mind, I thought I would save a couple of things. So there's a couple of Easter eggs in there specifically for Space Game Junkie.
Oh, okay.
And we'll talk about that. But so Apolune. So I think part of it is before I was working on Apolune, I wanted to make a like something that's not space and science fiction. But of course, I've spent 13 years developing all these different space and science fiction like features for the various games that I work on. Fringes being one, Empire in the Sky, a game that you can't even see on Steam anymore. And I made Dishwasher, which is this puzzle game that has like no value, but it's funny. It's just funny. It's a joke game. It's only $1 anyway. But when I started into Apolune, like I love roguelikes, and Fringes was like a nice guy game. Like you can't even die in Fringes. In fact, the thing that is what Fringes is waiting on is combat. And because of some other technical difficulties, I and the fact that I got a job right when I got to that point and have been pretty busy with my day job, I have not yet added combat. And I have a vision for combat, and I know what it'll be. If you were to play Fringes now, when you get towards the end of the game, because the game lasts, it's not done yet, but there's a little bit of so in Fringes, you currently can, first of all, anybody can make their own campaign, I believe. And there's lots of editors, and there's lots of stuff in the game. But as far as the gameplay, you basically go through a few. It's kind of like the beginning sequence to a game, like where you learn about all the controls in a way, and then you get to the other star system. So you actually leave the star system, and when you're there, some of the collision was starting to be worked on. So you arrive in another star system that has like junk lying around that you bump into, and space traffic that beeps at you, and that was sort of where it was left. But it does not have shooting. So Apolune was like, well, I have spent so long, like everything in Fringes takes hours to work on because of all the layering and all of the ideas that are already present in it, and the file formats and the save games. All of these features add layers. And so Apolune is a game that does not have layers like that. It does not have save games. It has roguelike qualities. All of the ships are randomly generated. They all shoot. It's a little minimalistic. They all shoot the same way. But there is a progression. And it's a score-based game. So if you get, and it's a skill-based game. So if you get a good score, that is your accomplishment, because you will die. There is no ultimate win scenario. You will die. And then you will get a score. And I hope that catches on and that people will play the game and compete against their own score, compete maybe against other people's scores, leaderboards and things like that. I'm not sure if they're fully working, but they are intended to be working. Just to clarify, we are launching tomorrow, but it's a soft launch while I test leaderboards until the 13th. So I'm hoping to get that feature going, because I think that's a lot about what the game has to offer. It's casual. It doesn't require, like in Fringes, you're talking to people, you're picking up items, you're in different views. You have you like get out of you start off outside of the ship, you then discover your ship, then you have to go and go to other planets, and then you have to go finally to another solar system and experience all of that. And there's so much more going on, and some of it is high quality and some of it needs a little more work. But in Apolune, it's just the basic raw experience of fighting. Now, over the past 2 weeks, since or maybe a week, whenever we talked originally about this podcast, I have actually gone a little bit further and added a lot of new features to the game that allow you to play with another person. Again, thinking of Jim's commentary, just giving me one guy so two guys can enjoy it together. And I played that with another person for the first time on Sunday. And that actually, I felt that worked out pretty well. Have you tried that at all? Are you aware of that feature, that true second player feature?
Is that where because you the control? I do want to talk about the controls. So you have the WASD and the arrow key. And the arrow keys.
Right.
Is one person supposed to do WASD and the other do the arrow keys?
So it's funny with Steam launches, because you have to have everything ready when you go to get approval. And I wanted to get this available in time for this podcast and also in time for the sale. And I kind of missed the mark. I wanted to come in 3 days before the sale, but instead I'm coming in a day after or whatever. But at that time, to try to get co-op, well, initially I thought the minimal version of that is yes, sharing a keyboard. I had just played Star Control's new version, whatever it's called, Origins. Mm-hmm. And I was like thinking back to the original Star Control, because this game is like it, but not. And thinking about how I could bring that back. That actually has a lot to do with why I chose to do this game as well, because I missed the 2D version from after playing Origins. But the idea was, you could sit there with somebody and one person could be the gunner and the other person could be the navigator. But I took a little bit of an ambitious turn last week and decided I'm going to add a true second player. And you can actually hit the Y or U keys, or you can load up the second player controller settings that are in Steam. The controller does work, including generic USB controllers do work if you use the Steam input profiles that are available and recommended. And those will allow you to either play as a single player yourself, playing as the ship, or playing as both the astronaut character and the ship, which is the second player character, or allowing somebody to use the keyboard as the ship, and then the astronaut will be played by whoever is using the controller. So when you hit the U or Y key, you get to eject from the ship, and then the second player. And this only happens during the first generation, we'll call it. It's not really a level, it's a generation. So within the first 30 kills, if you hit the Y or U key, it switches into second player mode and allows a second player or yourself as the controller to control the two pucks, if you will.
So, is there anything in here that's supposed to tell you that?
It's in the README and in the store description.
Is it?
This game is, I mean, yeah, no, I mean, it's minimal. You have to read the docs or you have to listen to this podcast. It's actually all about this podcast because the people who listen to this podcast are going to learn the cheat codes and they're going to learn that there is a second player. Maybe I could add some text to the game, but the problem with that is that I'm trying to actually expand out of just English speaking countries as well without having to do too much work. So I'm hoping that by I have a couple of translators for the README, but to do it in the game, I have really no good way to detect the language yet. There's two buttons that are written and then the score is it's all in English, but if you read the README or if you experiment and hit the key, it will happen. Or if you read the store page. This just happened, so I'm not surprised you guys didn't know about it.
Yeah, no, I was using the WASD and the cursor keys to turn and shoot. So that's how I thought it worked.
Is there a way to see? Is there a screen? Is there a way to see, or is this audio only?
Well, I recorded about 20 minutes of me playing the game.
Okay.
Which is streaming in the background of us chatting.
Okay.
So that'll be on YouTube and Twitch and everything.
Okay, I guess I imagined it would be a little more live in that way, but I was hoping that...
No, we used to do that, but that turned out to be really distracting for pretty much
Right,
everyone.
okay, well, fair enough. Here, let me tell you the cheat codes, and you can experiment with them later. And it's better because they have to listen to the podcast to hear this information and not just look at the game and then move on. So that's fine. So when you're in the main, so there's a cheat option in the startup, right? Like you hit play and there's all those different options. And in fact, if you read the README, it tells you how to go about even changing the resolution to other resolutions and things like that. But if you choose a cheat mode like Cheater's Paradise or any of the other cheat modes, and then you're in the main menu before you hit play, if you hold down S, G, and J at the same time, then Brian's voice comes on and says, "Welcome to the Space Game Junkie Podcast." And that activates one of the cheats. And then if you hit Hunter, Hunter, all at the same time, holding all of those keys, that's another. And then there's a gym one, which is Alien. You hold Alien down. And finally Spaz. So there's 4 cheats. I actually only can tell you exactly what Spaz does right now. I'll have to look up what the other ones do. And if you do all 4 cheats, you get an achievement. There are actually 4 or 5 cheat achievements that you can only get when cheating. Otherwise, you can't get the regular achievements. So something to look forward to. And if you do edit this for YouTube, maybe you can tack that on at the end or something if you try that out.
So Herbert.
Oh, we don't edit. Everything's live.
Oh, everything's live. Okay. Whatever.
Fuck
so
it, we do
the previous game you made in what engine? That was Game Maker Studio.
Well, I had started in my own, and then Fringes was initially developed in Game Maker with a hope that would help things, but I don't know. I've cut them off the tree. So
okay, because I remember a show we talked to somebody, and it devolved into a conversation about MUDs and stuff. And was that you that we were talking to? Because they were using Game Maker, but then ran the thing out, like basically filled Game Maker up, couldn't add any more content to it.
Yep, that's me.
Okay, all right.
Yep, ANSI art and all that. Yep. Yeah. Yes. Briefly, by the way, sorry, that's I don't want to get off topic of those cheat codes for those who are going to listen to it for this reason. Spaz actually is the one cheat code that allows you to heal when you kill. So you heal a little bit when you kill.
That's pretty
And I
cool.
think actually
so that's much like when Spaz bans people and yet feels good about it. So-
something like something.
It's completely fulfilling. It's life affirming.
It refills his life bar.
So to expound upon that slightly, there's only a few more things about the cheats. So after you've done what the SGJ and the Hunter and the Alien do is they activate keys that are around the number pad. So if you hit the delete key on the number pad, the plus sign, the asterisk, possibly one of these keys, maybe the divide or the minus, they're on the outskirts of that area of the keyboard. They will change your kill count to specific numbers that trigger some of the evolutions of your ship that give you better weapons. And
so there is progression.
Yeah, there's definitely progression. And if you hit the plus sign a lot, that will each time you hit the plus sign, it will put you ahead one level of generation, but it won't necessarily improve your ship. It just moves you forward a generation. So you'd be in a different, I guess when you do that, you hyperspace to another place. But to get back to that progression thing, you only got to 80, but you may have felt very subtly that things had been changing at that point.
Yeah, there were, I think when I hit 50 or 75, like something blinked and the ships got bigger and a little bit tougher and they moved a little faster. So yeah, something definitely happened at a certain score where I definitely noticed it. I definitely noticed it.
I'm just stoked that I get to be not only a secret cheat code, but one that triggers somebody so hard that they evolve to their next form.
Yeah.
Holy, these cheats
That's the
are
ultimate
ridiculous.
goal.
Wow.
Are you
trying them out?
Are you playing it? Hunter?
Yes. It kind of changes the game a lot.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
cool.
definitely. And it won't record your leaderboard. It actually doesn't record your leaderboard. So,
Well, that's not fun.
or you're cheating.
Am I though?
Well, you do get a couple of achievements, I think. So
You're using your own name to cheat. Is it cheating?
yeah, I don't know.
I
Maybe,
literally heard Brian introduce all of us like it was a show. That was kind of weird.
yeah, isn't that cool? I hope you guys don't mind. I mean, I didn't
No.
don't DMCA me or anything.
No. That's very flattering. Thank you.
I'm glad. I think it's been done before, actually. I think I saw someone had given you something like that before. So
Somehow I have a score of 584. Okay.
oh, so you've got the crazy triple weapon or something, the triple threat.
Yeah, it looks like more like a quadruple threat, but that's cool.
Yeah, no, it really gets a lot better later on. You have to. The slow part is for those who aren't very good at it, so that they don't feel that they've been cheated out of a game that they paid for. They actually,
My
so
ship's the size of like an escape pod, so you can't even hit it.
oh yeah, that's the other thing. That creates a handicap. So you get a random ship at the beginning, and it can be of varying sizes, and that creates a handicap that affects your score. Definitely. So it's all kind of factored in its own way. But there are evolution. This is like I want this to be a series, and this is the first of the series. So if people like this game, if they want to see more of this game and more evolutions of this game, then they need to buy it, because it can be very difficult as an indie developer when you sell hundreds of units over years. And if this game would do well, I would definitely make an Apolune 2 that had network play. And I would definitely add maybe other weapons and other effects that could go on. And so it's all about the community. If someone out there can, sees a game that doesn't have everything they want, engage with me and buy the game and support it, and that'll get me interested in making a sequel.
What is the
Okay,
what's
now I'm killing stuff before it even gets on the screen. This is ridiculous.
That's a key aspect of the game. In earlier levels, you can spin and fire a spiral, and you can hear that they're being hit. And that's actually a tip that you can do that cheating or not. Yeah.
Actually, I think my score is going down now. That's fun.
So the more you miss, the more your score gets affected by missing. So your accuracy affects your outcome.
Oh,
of your
really?
score.
So, okay. So I shouldn't machine gun my bullets all over the place. I need to try and be accurate.
Well, you got to rope it in as much as you can, but let's be honest. Yeah. For some reason, I can't get above like 36,000. I don't know why. I just can't beat that. So
36,000.
yeah, I get to 36,000 points, and then that's it. I'd love to hear if somebody got to 3,000 kills. That would be. I can't achieve it myself, but there is a reward at 3,000 kills, and that's actually the last reward. So
Dear Lord.
yeah,
I felt like I had an achievement getting 81 or whatever it was.
well, it almost puts you to sleep in the beginning after a while, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, I figured okay, so I only used the keyboard because I didn't know I could set up the.
It's better on the keyboard, but yeah.
I didn't know I could set up the gamepad because I have that Steam thing turned off because then it ruins gamepad control for another game that I play.
Absolutely. It's horrible. Yep.
It's not great. So some people like it though. Someone said AC Wraith, our buddy AC Wraith on Twitch said it lets him use a PS1 DualShock with a USB adapter. So
It does great stuff, but I'll hit the start button on my controller and the Windows start menu opens.
Oh,
what is that?
Oh, jeez. Come on, guys.
Anyway.
But I was thinking, because I was using the keyboard, it's a little weird, I'm going to admit. I was thinking the breaks between ships were like to give your hands a rest. That's what I thought it was.
It is.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
That makes a lot more sense now. Like, oh, I can pull back.
I mean, in the beginning. Later, there's always there are rests in there, planned rests, because I've played this game like 55 times at this point, like through as far as I can for hours and hours testing it, because you can test and it works by using the cheat codes because that's why they're in there. But then in addition to that, if you get to a point in the you just get to a point where you need to know that it works when it's actually being played for hours. And so I've played for hours, and it's still, the astronaut threw in some craziness because it does have that tube, and the tube uses Box2D, and Box2D has caused issues with crashes before, but I was able to play it for a good, maybe 40 minutes with a friend before he died, killing me. And,
so there's friendly fire in the game?
No, when you activate the second player, the second player is an astronaut who is tethered to your ship, and he doesn't actually take damage, but he can shoot. And he can't really control himself. He just sort of flails around, but he can aim. It's actually quite funny. If you go on my Twitter and like scan through, there's actually I'll put it in the chat, but I have a GIF of that. But anyway, it's a lot of fun to play with your friend because he's controlling, in this case, he was controlling the main ship, so he has to dodge. That's his job. Oh, I also added a dodge attack. I think Hunter was playing it. Hunter, did you hit double tap WASD or anything?
No, but I am trying to find the achievements, and it's not letting me look them up right now. Is that because it's not officially out yet?
Well, it wouldn't be live yet.
Maybe.
Gotcha.
The achievements page on Steam doesn't go live until the store page is actually live and people can buy it.
Well, I see it on my account.
Well, no, I can see achievements, but like if I try to go to the actual achievements, like for the game that it takes me just to my profile. But that's because of what Spaz just said.
No, it's actually, I don't know if that's true or not. I think Spaz is onto something, but from what I've read, that's a bug that everybody experiences with achievements. And
it's something that happens with games that have not officially been released when they are in closed beta testing, but there's still a Steam API available.
Huh.
That will be the case. Yeah.
Okay. Because I've read a thread on Steam that suggests something else, but maybe we'll see. We'll find out. I believe that could be true. So, but the achievements, I mean, I can tell you what they are, but why ruin it? You have to have something to work for. But yeah, 3,000's it, but you got to get a higher score. That's the incentive after 3,000 is a higher score or a longer survival time. My record is 38 minutes. So if you can beat that.
Wow. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Because it definitely
takes 8 minutes to get to where you were at, Brian. But I think you played an earlier version of the game where it took 22 minutes. So it's now down to like 8 or 9 minutes to get to about 100 kills.
Oh,
I had to speed that up.
Oh,
Yeah.
So is that not on Steam yet? Is that what happened? Is that
nope? That's live. I'm not sure when you played, or maybe you just
I played today. This was from
luck of the draw.
Today.
Then
Must be. Yeah, this was earlier today.
there is a random factor, you know. So
Right.
what size did you play at?
What size?
4K resolution.
Hey, that's a personal question.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
my main monitor is 1440. That's what I was playing.
Oh,
at.
really?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay. So the size of your resolution does affect the game.
Look,
What?
it's not about the size of the resolution. It's about
Wait.
Well, that's why
Wait a
there's
minute.
lo-fi mode.
There's a lo-fi mode.
Yeah, lo-fi mode does 720p, and if you want to hack the launch codes, if you go to the README, it tells you the launch options that you can put into Steam to launch it
Oh.
even as small as like 320 by 240.
Wow.
But it's going to be harder to play at that that size. You won't be able to read the score, but
So
Prepare
you're
to
gonna-
squint.
You're gonna do
Yeah.
a soft launch tomorrow. What price are we talking about?
it's $7,
Oh, that's
and it's
quite,
11% off.
that's quite in impulse territory. Yeah. So that's a good price for a game that sounds like it has a bunch to it.
I would have made it $5, but I felt like I just valued it too much to put it at $5.
You know, we talked about that recently, where we'll see games now that are like $1, $2. And we're like, why is it only $1? Why is it 99 cents? It must be some kind of asset flip. But then you see something that's like $6.99. You're like, oh, that's an actual game.
Well, I paid. I think what did I get yesterday? I got Vermintide for $12, but
Nice.
you know that wasn't bad. But I don't- you know, you get a deal sometimes. But
The new game, the game today is getting the game at the best price possible. That's the ultimate game. That is the best.
yeah,
game.
it does hurt. It hurts the little guy, but
I know, but we only have.
it
so
also
much time
gouges
and
the big
money.
guy.
We only have so much time and money. You know?
There's too many games. Too many games.
Oh yeah, there are totally too many games. So we probably have to start wrapping up because I am losing my voice. If you
Oh, I'm
couldn't
sorry.
tell. No,
Well, I wanted
it's
to.
fine. What?
I wanted to talk to you about the next game. because-
go ahead. Let's do that and then wrap up.
So I knew this was not your cup of tea, maybe.
Mm.
And I kind of for a while have wanted to make something like a 4X that's not a 4X. And so I'm just gonna throw that out there. There's several polls on my Twitter profile, LA Game Studio on Twitter. And you know, anybody who listens to this, please come for the next 6 days after February, 5th, and vote on what the title should be. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be so I'm trying to reuse these things that I have in Fringes and make games out of the individual parts, because this was like, I can draw a ship and I can make a quick little ship game and it can be fun, and I can then spend some weeks, honing it to a point where it has, some neat features. And this next thing is going to be, I'm going to make yet another casual sort of game where you are basically a colonizer of planets. There's no flying around in this. Like I'm just going to eliminate that from the game, but ships will arrive at your planet and you can build a colony on your planet. That's sort of the direction I'm headed in. So
Oh, that sounds fun. I mean,
I have you in mind while I'll have you in mind while I'm working
Oh.
on. I haven't really started it yet, but
that's fine. We love 4X games around here, and
that's good.
I mean, there's been a glut of them. Well, there was a year or two ago, but now it seems to have slowed down. But trying to find something different in that space is always welcome. Because
Stellar Monarch. What do you think? Great
love
name.
Love it. Love that game.
Okay.
Stellar Monarch, Alliance of the Sacred Sons looks like it's going to be great.
Cool.
What's the one we talked about a couple weeks ago? Was it Star? Oh, it was the other Crusader Kings in space. What was that? Like from 2 weeks?
Star Ruler?
No. That's a good one. But hang on.
All right.
It's like Star Crusade or... Do any of you guys remember the name of that game?
I do until you asked.
God damn it. Yeah.
And then,
Star Dynasties. Star
Dynasty.
there we go.
Oh, that's bad because one of the titles that you can possibly pick on my poll is Dynasty Star, which is very similar.
There are only so many words you could use for a game, for a title for a thing. So
yeah, no, I hear it. There's like 55 different Galactic Empires games.
Oh, I got it. Void Dynasty.
Void. Oh, see, okay.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
the
say
number
not
of
to-
space games with Void in the
I was
title.
gonna say not to use Void, but all right, why not? We got another Void.
No, just Dynasty Star. That's good.
Oh no.
Well, let me ask you guys was a couple of things. I'm gonna try to make it multiplayer in some respect so that you guys can
Okay.
enjoy it together. I know that's something that Jim likes, and I know you all like
Sorry.
it. So hopefully you'll play, compare colonies, whatever it is that happens. Because combat, like you're not fighting, so I don't know. But I want to add combat.
A lot of games focus too much on combat. There aren't enough games that focus on diplomacy or espionage. Those are like
what happened to Sim City? I mean, that became City Skylines, but it's like that kind of a game. There's not a lot of innovation in that space.
Yeah. Like what happened to Imperium Galactica, where it was like a city builder and a 4X.
That's right.
Those were amazing.
Oh man,
What was that? It was like Sky Out of Reach or something. It was Chris Park was working on before he abandoned that and went back to just do AI work.
Oh, fudge. Yeah, no. That wasn't even a space game. It was like a science fiction city builder.
Yeah, and that's what made me think about it. We were talking about like 4X city build and
Damn it,
where
hang
did
on.
that stuff.
Let me look. I can find
Wow.
it.
Imperium Galactica. It looks great.
Oh, those games are wonderful.
1997. Yeah, neat. I think it's funny that the Steam documentation has DOSBox in it now. They're like, how to launch a game in DOSBox. Yeah. All right, so let me throw out some names, and you tell me if you like them or not. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. I really like Stellar Monarch. I thought that was a really great name, so I came up with Galaxy King. All right.
Okay.
All right, medium there. Okay.
Mm.
I used a generator to generate Star Raid. All right. It's like,
All right.
How about this? What if you build in a generator and it actually randomizes the game's title every time you launch
You
it?
can't do that.
hard to market.
How
Hard
you
to-
gonna,
that's
how you gonna
true.
put that on Steam? How you gonna put that on Steam?
All right, the one I came up with myself, Astro Realms. Actually, I think that came from the
Ooh.
generator as well. But that's
I
a
like
good
that
one.
That's a good one. That is
Astro
a good one.
Realms. Okay.
That could be a lot
does
of
have-
different things. That could be a shooter.
Yeah,
That
you-
could be a 4X game. That could cover a lot of ground.
Could be like a
Space.
Windjammer.
Yeah.
Anyway. Starjammer, sorry, Starjammer. Starbase. I don't know if there is a game called that. I don't know.
I don't think there is. Wow.
Yeah,
that would be
Starbase.
that would be an oversight if there wasn't a game called Starbase.
Called Starbase. Yeah, I know.
That seems
And-
really obvious.
Yeah, why wouldn't you have like that? But they would have to be about a starbase, and I'm looking to not really focus entirely on the starbase, so I'm not really sure if that. But anyway, okay. Starscape or Astroscape?
Starscape's not bad.
Okay,
Starscape's
Astroscape.
actually already taken.
let's find out.
Is it Starscape?
I think so.
Yep, it is. Okay, moving on. It's Astroscape. It's too similar. And I feel bad about putting Astro in the title because there's other games that I have that are like called Astro that I don't like, and I don't want to be among them.
Well, there was that the Astro Realm. I think that was probably the best one so far.
Astro Realms. Okay, you like that one.
I think that's the best one so far.
Chronicles of the Universe.
Maybe
Maybe it's Astro Realms. Chronicles of the Universe.
Hey,
I don't know, Brian.
I actually like that.
Put on your SEO hat. Let's talk about words. Like what words are searchable.
I'm not doing keyword research on a video game title right now.
No, there's rapid tags. I don't need that.
I mean, just like in general, keyword stuff, right? Like if people search for, because you want a name that says, "Hey, this is a space game," but you also don't want something that's going to be common enough that when you search for it, you get a bajillion things that are not.
Well, right. I think if I put Astro Realms Chronicles of the Universe, the Police would show up. Have you guys ever seen the Police?
The what?
No, but I like the band the.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Police go around Steam flagging games that have the word "the" in them in their titles. What? Yeah, the Police. Stella Colonium, which is actually Latin for stellar colony.
Okay, you say that to me, and all I think is that old movie clip of someone yelling "Stella."
Stella.
Yeah, all right. That's all I think of with that one.
There's only a few more. Galactic Empire, which was a game in 1980 and 1990. I feel like I could get away with that. Yeah, all right. Stellar Empires, a win 3.1 game by a guy who's probably not in business anymore. Maybe I could take that title. I don't know.
That's right. A possibility, that one.
It doesn't really. You like Stellar Empires?
Yeah.
It's a good name. You like want to play it, you know? I'd play that. Unfortunately, it's like a text-based game and it's kind of like Minesweeper, but you know. Exo Colony.
EXO Colony?
EXO Colony, yeah.
That might be the best one yet, I think.
All right, I'm going to write that down. All right, we've got 2 votes from Brian here. Astro Realms and Exo Colony. How about Astro Realms, the Exo Colony?
No.
I'm just...
No. No. Don't do it.
That's about it. I mean, the other games are... Yeah, can't do the rest. Struggle for the Galactic Empire version 2.0 is a card game that I could, make a video game of. Oh, Professional Galactic Empires. Oh, I forgot this one. This one's great. Galactic Express. But then there is a Galaxy Express manga. So,
and Galactic Express needs to be that Railroad Tycoon in space game.
That's what I'm hoping for with that.
Oh, okay. That might not be
Maybe I'll
bad.
just get that.
It sounds like a delivery. It sounds like a delivery game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Here you go. Yeah.
But we got to wrap it up. I'm totally losing my voice. But I want to thank you for coming on and talking about Apolune. So, folks, this is going to launch. It's going to have a soft launch tomorrow on the 6th. And it's going to be $7. But it's on sale during the. And Happy Lunar New Year, everyone. By the way, it's going to be on sale during the Lunar New Year sale on Steam, and it's actually pretty fun. It starts simple at first, but you start getting a flow into it, and you're like, okay, I'm kind of getting the hang of this, and you start shooting stuff down. Then more stuff comes, and the designs are really neat. Like there was a ship that was shaped like a gun. I like that one. And yeah, so just a couple.
Thank you.
Oh, of course. And just a couple quick programming notes before we wrap up.
Before you go, actually, can I say one last thing? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
I want to thank you and everybody on the program because there are not a lot of good curators. And to kind of own this space of space games is very, very, very helpful. So I'm sure people have gushed at you before, but I'm really appreciative of that because I think you guys are, doing a great job and I love that you've not given up on it and that's wonderful stuff. And we really could use your support in the indie community. So thank you on behalf of us all.
It's funny. The hyper focus has made it easier to maintain over the years.
That's good. It works.
Yeah, it works very well. It's weird, but it works. We love it. Could be happier with the community we've built. Just look at our Discord. So
yeah, it's great.
So thank you, but also thank you for contributing to this library and this community of games and gamers, respectively.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, of course. I'm one of you, so that's good.
But just a couple quick programming notes before I lose my voice entirely. Next week on the show, we are having the developer of Rodina back on the show. He hasn't been on since podcast 14. And
I'm really excited about this.
Yeah, the game has changed a lot since then, so that's going to be great. And next Thursday is Valentine's Day, so we are not doing a LAN party because it's Valentine's Day. So thank you, man, for joining us, Herbert. Right, that's your name, Herbert.
Yes, Herb.
Herb. I'm terrible with names. I don't have it right.
It's okay.
So I apologize. Thank you, Herbert, for joining us, Herb. And thank you, everyone, for watching and listening. And again, the game is Apolune. Oh, my God. And it goes on sale tomorrow. Wow. That sounds great, huh? I can't wait to do more. Let's talk for another hour. No, we can't. We really
can't. Get this man some water.
Yeah, I know. I've been drinking the entire time. I have liquid next to me. It's just slowly getting worse as I talk. So thanks, you guys.
Feel better.
Thank you. You know why? There was like 2 raindrops that fell in California.
That was not it at all. That was not. We actually had quite a bit of rain. It was great. But thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.